Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ebony. I am a human design reader, expert, and coach, and today we are talking about Gate 55. I love this gate. I have this gate. This is my conscious earth, so I know this gate very, very well. So the Gate 55 is the gate of emotional fulfillment. And with this gate defined, you are easily able to access emotional fulfillment in every single moment, right? And because you're able to experience and access this emotional fulfillment, it calls in abundance very easily, right? So this gate is literally the gate of abundance. It's not called the gate of abundance, obviously, but that's how I see it, because when you're able to access emotional fulfillment, regardless of what's going on around you, right, you call in more abundance. Regardless, it's just, how it works. So the shadow of this gate is victimization. And this shows up in two ways. Number one, complaining. I am a recovering complainer, okay? It's this feeling of, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. What is going on? Why is this why won't this work? Why? That was me. Okay, it's this feeling of everything is happening to me. I can't control this. I am powerless. I am a victim to my circumstances. So now I'm going to talk about it, right? Even if to whoever's around, or even if there isn't anyone around, I'm just going to complain to myself, right? Because it makes me feel better, right? It'll be complaining, or it'll show up as blaming. You did this to me. Because of you, this happened. Because of you, I didn't get to do this. Because of you, I didn't get to do this thing with my life, right? Both of these manifestations are you making yourself the victim. It's you giving away your own power. Now, I want to be very, very clear that there is a difference between being a victim and being a victim. I'm going to try and explain this in a way that makes sense. So sometimes things happen to us, terrible things, and that makes us a victim, right? That is something happening to us that makes us a victim of something, right? I could give examples, but for, YouTube reasons, we're not going to, but you guys know there are things that happen to us that make us victims, right? And some of those things we can't control. What we can control is making ourselves the victims, right? When something happens to you, something terrible happens to you, it makes you a victim. But then when you do that to yourself, when you make yourself a victim, when you say, I cannot move on because of this thing, or I am not good enough to do this because of this thing, there's a difference between something happening to you and making you a victim and you remaining in that victimhood mentality, you making yourself the victim over and over and over again. To see how those two things are different, right? So I'm not saying that things won't happen to you, that things won't make you a victim. The problem comes in when you continue to do it, when you continue to make yourself a victim, because really, the event happens once. It happens. That's it. It's happened. It's done. It happened. We like to relive things over and over and over and over again in our head. And when we do that, we consistently and constantly make ourselves the victim over and over and over and over again. You are victimizing yourself all day, every day for an event that happened once. I'm not saying that horrible things, don't take time to get over, that don't take time to heal. Of course they do. But in order to heal, you have to come out of, woe is me, this thing happened to me. Woe is me, I am the victim. No, it happened. You were the victim, and now you have a choice. Are you going to stay in the victimhood? Or are you going to take back your power and move forward and do what you came here to do, right? And I'm trying very hard to be sensitive because I know people have experienced terrible things. I have experienced terrible things, right? And coming to terms with this gate was really, really difficult for me. And I was like, I am the victim here. What the fuck do you mean? I am the victim here. No, you were. Because now the only thing keeping you a victim is you. Was me. Right? Who that got deep? Sorry. So, the interesting thing about this gate, the unique thing about this gate, it is the only gate, out of all 64 gates, it's the only one where the gift and the city are the same thing. The gift and the city of this gate is freedom. And the reason why the gift and the city are the same thing is because there is no half free. You are either free or you're not. There's no halfway point between victimization and freedom. There's nothing in between there. You're either a victim or you're free. So moving from victimization to freedom, well, it requires a few things, but in the context of this gate, it requires finding the lesson in every moment. This thing happens to you. What can we learn from this, right? What can we take from this? What can we synthesize and turn into wisdom from this? What can we do to make this thing our bitch, right? What can I take from this thing to make me stronger, to fuel my purpose, to propel me forward? Me. Because when you are made a victim of something, you lose that ability to focus on yourself. You lose that ability to see yourself as a powerful person because you're seeing yourself as a victim. You've been put into the situation where you're like, oh my God, I am weak, I am feeble, I am a victim. So moving out of that, you need to remember who the fuck you are. You need to take back your power. So what can you learn from this thing, this terrible thing? Maybe it's not terrible. Maybe it's just, something, inconvenient, right? What is the lesson in this, right? How can I use this to take back my power? How can I use this to propel me forward? How can I use this to unfold my purpose and my physical experience, right? When you master this, when you master turning everything that tries to victimize you into power, into an emotional experience that makes you feel good, nothing can stop you at that point. Because people will say all the time, especially if you're like in the manifestation community, you don't want the thing, you want the feeling that thing's gonna bring you. If you're manifesting money, you don't want the money, you want the feeling of comfort, you want the feeling of the luxurious, living in luxury, right? You want the freedom. So if you can turn every victimizing situation into something that brings you fulfillment, into something that makes you feel powerful, into something that can make you feel abundant. If no situation can affect you emotionally, can affect the fulfillment that you feel emotionally, you are completely free. Emotional freedom is actual freedom. When nothing can shake you emotionally, you're literally unfuckwithable at that point. If something terrible can happen and you can find wisdom in it, you can find the lesson in it, and you can turn that shit into abundance, into fulfillment, what can stop you? I'm very curious, right? And that's what this gate is. It's not just, favoring the happy, light, joyful emotions. No. It's taking the shit and turning the shit into gold. So that way the gold, the shit that you turned into gold, calls in more gold, right? So this is a very long video. Most of the other videos 5-6 minutes, but I really want you to get what this gate means to me specifically, because this was something I really, really struggled with, because I was just convinced that life was happening to me and I had no control over it. No, I have all the control, Because if I can control my emotional responses, who gonna stop me? Nothing. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.